Hi guys, it's Xenia. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some really hyped up popular perfumes that in my opinion are worth the hype. I will be doing a affordable version of this. Today we are going to focus on more like designers, high-end type of perfumes that are like really mainstream. I feel like this one is a little bit more important because you have a lot more to lose obviously when it comes to designer scents. There's a lot of really hyped up perfumes out there that are hyped up all over TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. You know, there's a million social medias just like marketing things at you nowadays. And I feel like when you're just being thrown things at you, it's really overwhelming to figure out like what's good and what's not. So I'm making this video for those of you that have similar type of perfume tastes as me, which I know pretty much almost everybody that is subscribed to me, that you guys all tell me that you follow me because you have similar tastes, so you know that what I recommend is something that you most likely will like. So hopefully this video will be helpful to you in terms of really overhyped perfumes but that are not necessarily overrated. Of course, I'm gonna do the opposite of this video where I'm gonna talk about really hyped perfumes that in my opinion are not worth the hype. Definitely do not take offense to anything that I say about any perfumes. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't care if somebody doesn't like a perfume that I like. You like what you like, you do what you do, it's your life, it's my life. I think we all get that. Anyways, with all that being said, before we get into this video, please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and turn your post notifications on. And let me show you my top 10 really popular mainstream perfumes that I think are worth the hype. I'm gonna start this video off with Olympia by Paco Rabanne. It's the perfect, I would say more so summer scent. I feel like you could wear this year round because there's nothing really in here that is like too much for any season. Particularly, I would consider this a summer scent because it does have like a sea salt type of smell. So it kind of gives me vacation vibes when I smell it and just beachy, salty air. It smells like you're walking into a perfume store or like a department store. This is fresh, but with a little bit of sweetness. It's almost like a salty vanilla type of scent. This has top notes of water jasmine, green mandarin, and ginger flower. Middle notes of vanilla and salt. So I feel like that's where you get the most prominent scent of this. It's like that perfect mixture of vanilla and salt, and then all the other notes just kind of add to those notes. But I think those are the two most prominent notes that are in here. You finish off with base notes of ambergris, cashmere wood, and sandalwood. I'm all about the woody dry downs in perfumes. This is exactly what I love. It's a little bit of sweetness, it's a little bit of freshness, it's a bit woody and sensual. It's daytime, it's nighttime. I feel like it's so versatile for literally any occasion. I remember the first time that I got this perfume in the mail, it was actually when I first started getting into perfumes. Like I think when I got this perfume, my perfume collection was like 15 or 20 perfumes. Now I have like almost 200. And I remember when this came in the mail and I smelled it, I was like, oh my, I'm never going to buy a perfume ever again. Obviously I lied, but that's how much in love I was with it that I was like, I'm good with just this perfume. Like I don't need anything else. I mean, I have a kind of a good dent into it, but I feel like for as much as I love this, I don't have that big of a dent in it. But that just kind of comes with the territory of being a perfume lover to the extent that I am. When you have so many perfumes, it's not that you don't use your perfumes, it's just that you have so many perfumes that you kind of like rotate over. So you never really run out of perfumes because it's not like you're using the same perfume over and over again. Anyways, that is Paco Rabanne Olympia, worth the hype like 100%. Alright, I'm gonna get this out of the way because I feel like you guys probably already know that it was coming in this video. You probably saw it in the thumbnail. I couldn't do this video without mentioning this perfume as much as I don't want to keep talking about it. I think this perfume has probably been in like my past 3 videos in a row, and I almost feel annoying to have to keep talking about this, but obviously I had to include Baccarat Rouge because this is probably the most famous perfume in the world at this point. I think this is worth every bit of hype that this gets. This is such a out of this world, whimsical, mystical, unique scent. Reading the notes of this could not possibly do this justice because I don't really think that this is a perfume that you can describe. Most of the descriptions of this perfume kind of sound really unappealing. This to me kind of smells like a dentist's office. It kind of smells medicinal in a way, and when you hear that, you're like, why in the world would I buy a perfume, let alone a $350 perfume that smells like a dentist's office? But it doesn't just smell like that. It's like this really sweet, woody, the ambergris in here is really prominent. This is such an overworn perfume. I definitely get that. I feel like every time I go out, I always smell somebody that is wearing this scent, and I always recognize it everywhere that I go. And I'm not gonna talk about it any further, but I think this is worth the hype, definitely. It is such a compliment magnet. Everyone that I have worn this around has loved it, and everyone asks question about it, like, what is that? I've never smelled a perfume like that ever. This is kind of like a conversation starter type of perfume because it just makes such a statement, and also it is so long lasting. It lasts literally years, and that is like absolutely zero, no exaggeration. You could spray this on your coat, come back to it literally in the next year, and it'll still be smelling like that. Like it's like glue. It's glue. Enough talk about Baccarat. Let's get into something that's a little bit similar but different. This is a very popular perfume as well, kind of in the same realm of Baccarat, and that is Burberry Her. There's so much hype about this perfume, especially because when this came out is kind of at the peak of all the popularity of this perfume. So I feel like people were using this as kind of like a dupe to it, because although that this is not like your cheapest perfume, it's not going to be in the 20s, 30s, or even 40s, but it's still a fraction of what this costs. Now, I wouldn't say that these are dupes. I would say that they're in the same family of scents, very ozonic. So that's kind of the only thing that they have in common. But this one is way different in the sense that this is like all about the fruits. There's so many berries in the opening of this, and that is so prominent in here. It smells like a juicy, rich, realistic, non-synthetic strawberry, but mixed with kind of that similar scent that is in Baccarat Rouge. So no, I would definitely not say that these are dupes. You get like strawberry, raspberry, blackberry, sour cherry, blackcurrant in here, and then the base kind of ends off on like a musky, woody, even has a bit of vanilla, so there's definitely a lot of sweetness in here as well. But although this one has kind of like a sugary sweetness, nothing fruity about this, all the sweetness that is in here definitely comes from all of those like really ripe, almost a little tart fruits. I definitely think it's worth the hype. Definitely a complimented scent. It's kind of like a not to be taken too serious type of scent. Very easy to wear, very inoffensive, flirty type of scent. So definitely check out Burberry Her. Next up, this is one of my all-time favorite perfumes and so many people's all-time favorite perfumes, and I think this is so worth the hype. I feel like in comparison to all of these other perfumes, this is not as popular. It's still popular. Like, I think a lot of people know about this, definitely. This is Valentino Donna Born in Roma. This is such a stunning perfume. I can't get enough of this. This is a man magnet. If you're going on a first date, if you're trying to get booed up, if you are looking for a man, you wear Valentino Donna Born in Roma. This one is all about that sweet feminine. It's just oozing feminine energy. It's so incredible. This is blackcurrant, pink pepper, bergamot, middle notes of jasmine, jasmine sambac, and jasmine tea, and base notes of bourbon vanilla, cashmere, and guaiac wood. I think the star in here is 100% the bourbon vanilla. It just gives this such a sexy twist to like your typical vanilla scent. It really makes this grown but not too grown. It's so sweet and sugary. But take for example Ari by Ariana Grande. I think that that's a beautiful scent, and in my teenage years that was like my staple. It was my signature. Everybody kind of almost like recognized me by that scent. But I feel like this is like the more mature, grown-up, sexier version of Ariana Grande's Ari. This is a perfume that I think every woman should own 1000%. The next perfume I have is a perfume that I will always talk about. It will never not be in my collection, and that is Carolina Herrera Good Girl. This is so popular. The most iconic thing about this perfume, even just let alone the scent, is this bottle, because when do you ever see a perfume that looks like a freaking heel? I don't care if people think it looks tacky, whatever. I don't care. I think this is so iconic. But Apart from the packaging, this is another one where it fits into that like man killer type of category of perfumes. Like these two, man killers. There is some sort of like magic love potion that is in here. The first time that I ever wore this, I hadn't even bought this, but I sprayed it at the store and I came home and my husband smelled me and he could not stop smelling. Like literally went back the next day and bought it because of how much he was hyping me up that night. Like he was just all over this perfume. He kept saying like, you smell so good, you smell so good. I'm not even gonna read the notes of this perfume. You can just check them out here on the screen, because as you can tell, this has just about every note known to man in it. I don't know how to describe the scent of this perfume because it's so many things mashed up into one, but not in an overwhelming way where it feels like just a bunch of things are like smushed together and there's no like rhyme or reason. This is so refined and it just smells so good. It's sweet, it's woody, it has like kind of slightly this masculine sort of scent to it. I definitely can smell tuberose in this scent. I feel like that's prominent to my nose, which I don't mind. I really do enjoy the scent of tuberose. I have a lot of perfumes that have tuberose in them. So I feel like the floral aspect in here is coming from the tuberose and a little bit of that jasmine sambac mixed with the orange blossom. I don't really get any other florals in here. So it's like really easy on the nose type florals for somebody that doesn't really love florals. You get tonka bean, cacao, vanilla, praline, almond. You get a bit of coffee. It's just so creamy and sweet, just so rich. Obviously, because it's like in this dark red heel, it does definitely give me like date night, going out, late night vibes. It is worth every bit of hype that it has ever gotten, and it will be a staple in my collection till the end of time. Another staple, this is La Belle by Jean Paul Gaultier. I'm so glad that I ordered this. I definitely don't always order perfumes online unless I like really want them and I've just exerted all my other options and I cannot find it anywhere in any store. That's when I will go the online route if I really want a perfume, and that was this for me. And I'm so glad that I picked this up because I feel like if I hadn't, I would have missed out on such an incredible scent. I have made a pretty decent dent into this. It's so satisfying when you make dents into perfumes, especially when you have so many that you're kind of wearing and it's kind of hard to put dents into them. You know you really love a perfume when you have kind of a decent dent into one. This perfume has a pretty simple composition, but it smells very high end. Like you get pear, bergamot, middle notes of floral notes and leather, and base notes of vanilla, vetiver, amber, and musk. That's what it says on Fragrantica, but in other websites, the only notes listed in here are pear, vanilla, and vetiver. So I'm not really sure, but I do feel like the most prominent notes that are in here are definitely the pear, vanilla, and vetiver. It's like a perfect mixture of just those three. I know on Fragrantica you get a little bit of other notes, but I don't really smell them. The pear mixed with the vanilla just kind of gives you like caramelized pear pie. Super gourmand and delicious, but I feel like if it was just those two notes, it would be a little bit on like the juvenile end and maybe not so much of a unique, powerful fragrance. So I definitely feel like that vetiver was like a crucial element of this perfume in making it just so much more hot. It gives it like this mature, earthy quality that definitely sets it apart from like your typical juvenile type of scent. This like feminine, gorgeous bottle is exactly what this perfume smells like. It smells like feminine power. I had to quickly get up and show you guys this because lately I've been pairing it up with Pear Creme Brulee by Bath & Body Works. This one is baked pear, caramelized sugar, and whipped cream. So the notes that are in here definitely fit with the notes that are in here. And you guys, if you want the ultimate sugary, gourmand, delicious combination, you pair these two together and I can't even put into words how good you will smell. Do yourself a favor and pair these two up together if you have them. Next up, another very popular perfume. We have YSL Libre. I know that's not how you pronounce it. I am not French. We've been over this. I used to be such a hater of this perfume when it first came out. I thought it smelled way too mature. I thought it smelled like a men's cologne, and I definitely do not think either of those things anymore. I'm so incredibly in love with this scent now. It's, oh my, I can't stop smelling it. It's so good. There's a lot of lavender in here, which is definitely, I feel like, the most polarizing note that is in this, and also the most standout note that is in here. Like, you get it in the top and the middle notes, so it's very prominent. I just think that it gives it like this level of classy, maturity, elegance. It does give it a bit of a masculine vibe, but I definitely don't think that this smells like a cologne. I think this is a very feminine, powerful perfume. Definitely like a CEO. I'm sorry if I'm like repetitive on this, because I know I've described this perfume the same way in previous videos, but if that's what I think, that's what I think. Get Madagascar vanilla in here, so it definitely has a touch of sweetness. It's a little bit musky, it's quite woody, it's very sexy and elegant. You will just smell like a boss. I have a certain look in mind where I feel like this is the type of perfume to pair with that look, like just very elegant and giving off like, I'm a boss. And I love the packaging of this. I think it looks so chic and just so expensive. It looks like luxury. Briefly, I will talk about this because if you are not new to my channel, you have heard me talk about this over and over, but this is a very popular perfume. Not always in the sense that it's popular and it's really loved. I feel like there is a lot of love for this, but there is also equally a lot of hate for this perfume, which I will never understand. But anyways, that is Alien by Mugler. I love Alien. I mean, you guys have heard me rave about this perfume over and over again. I think this is just such a stunning, complex perfume. You've never smelled a perfume like this before. When you look at the composition and how simple it is, you would think like, oh, that's probably like a really generic, boring perfume, like blah. But no, I feel like they're just not listing, just because the only notes that are mentioned in here are that jasmine, woodsy notes, and amber, doesn't mean that's all it is. Like, they're definitely kind of holding back on what makes this perfume because it's so rich and complex and delicious. I definitely do get those notes in here, like the jasmine, woodsy notes, and amber, but it is such a complex mixture of all those notes that I find it hard to believe that that's all that's making up this perfume. Yes, it's a very like predominantly jasmine type of perfume, but it's jasmine in a way you've never smelled before. It's very feminine, it's powerful. It's like you walk into the room and you make a statement. It is a strong scent, so you do have to be kind of somebody that likes to make a statement to wear this perfume. People will smell this perfume. It's a powerhouse. It's got great longevity, sillage, performance. It's all in this perfume, and I think the scent itself is just stunning. Next perfume that in my opinion is very much worth the hype, and I feel like the hype has maybe died down a little bit because I don't hear about this as much anymore, but I do feel like when this came out and when people kind of discovered this, there was a lot of hype around it, and that is Versace Crystal Noir. I think that this is a beautiful scent. This smells like shampoo to me. I will forever say that. Every time I mention this perfume, people always ask me if I'm talking about the EDP or the EDT. I am talking about the EDT, and I do feel like most people do prefer the eau de toilette, but there is kind of like a discrepancy in the notes between these two because the eau de parfum has a coconut note, whereas the eau de toilette doesn't have a coconut note, but I smell a coconut note in here. 100%. And just FYI, just because you see the notes listed on a perfume on Fragrantica, it doesn't mean that that's all the notes that are in that perfume. Like, there could be more notes or they could be less notes than that. Like, it's not always spot on. I feel like with this, I'm definitely gonna have to say that this definitely has coconut in it, because I 100%, it's like clear as day to me, I smell coconut in here. This is stated to have violet, black fig, and black currant, middle notes of jasmine, tuberose, and frangipani, base notes of sandalwood, cashmere, vanilla, and heliotrope, but there's coconut in there. Honestly, one of my most complimented perfumes ever. Like, ever. People always talked about this. I used to wear it like every day almost a while back, and I swore every single day I would wear this. People would always ask about this perfume. It definitely fills up a room. I feel like you maybe would not think it would, because I do believe that this is a flanker to Bright Crystal, and Bright Crystal is not the most powerhouse of perfumes. I do feel like it lasts a lot longer than your typical fresh type of fragrances. So I don't think the performance on it is bad, but this is like outstanding performance. It lasts forever and it's pretty strong too. So people will always smell this, and as long as they can smell it, they're gonna be giving you compliments. And the very last scent that is definitely a really popular scent, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this. It's been around for a long time, so it's kind of just like a classic, very, very loved perfume. But I truly believe that this deserves all the hype that it gets. That is Giorgio Armani C. Another, I feel like there's quite a theme with all of these perfumes, and that is that they all smell very, very rich and bold and powerful and just feminine. Giorgio Armani C is a very, very sexy perfume. When I first smelled this, I was a bit put off by it, I'm not gonna lie, and it's why I didn't buy this right away. It kind of took me a little while to warm up to it, but that's because I hadn't actually worn it on my skin. I had just sprayed it on the little tester, and when I first smelled it, I was like, this smells like wine. Like, straight up smelled like red wine to me. And although I love to drink wine occasionally, I don't want to smell like wine. Like, why would I want to smell like alcohol? But when you actually wear this on your skin, on your clothes, this does incredible things. When I finally did wear it on my actual self, and I got into the car, my husband was nonstop complimenting me. This is cassis, middle notes of May Rose and Freesia, and base notes of vanilla, patchouli, woody notes, and ambroxan. This is a woody vanilla. The patchouli in here is definitely very, very, very prominent. It's kind of like on the borderline of being a little too much, because it definitely is here. Like, it makes a statement. I can also smell a lot of rose, and I feel like rose and patchouli are some of my most hated notes. So the fact that I smell those the most in here, and yet I really love this, just kind of goes to show that this is kind of like a different type of composition of those notes, kind of in the same category of YSL Libre. Not that they smell similar at all, but giving me like boss vibes. So that is Giorgio Armani C. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know which perfumes that you think are really, really popular, that you also think are popular for a good reason. And on the contrary, let me know popular perfumes that you do not agree with being popular. But that is it for me today. Please subscribe to my channel and turn your post notifications on, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.